What's up, YouTube fam? Dark Angel's Journey. I'm Shakira. It's a beautiful day out here. Very busy. So I did not have time this morning to do my usual morning um, vid. So doing it after work, even if I am tired. So I had a couple of setups that I glanced over and saw what I was looking for, and I just added them on the charts. Now I want to see how I could have actually like traded them. Also, I was randomly on YouTube looking at some shorts, and I found this indicator that kind of like accurately lays out the different sessions, and you can even set which sessions you can like plainly see where you're supposed to be if you want to be trading between like 7 and 10, or like, New York session, or 2 to 4 New York session. You could like set that up. So I figured we could play with that, and only only back test in those time frames, see if I can find what I'm looking for in those exact time frames and nothing else. So if that sounds like a good time, drop a like, drop a comment, and subscribe if you feel like it. I always forget the wordings there. So let's get like tiny. Okay, I know. Cute. Screen's up here, so if you see me looking in that direction, that's why. Also a bit of a glare. So let's actually take a look at what I was seeing. I just glanced over and I saw what I was looking for up here. And the indicator that I found that kind of just like highlights the sessions, it's called the FX Market Sessions by Botoki. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Let me know in the comments if I am or not. I don't know. Anyway, so what I like about it is it's literally just gonna help me determine where I am in the session. So I've set it to GMT -4 for Eastern Standard, and I'm setting it for New York, two sessions for New York between 7 and 11, and then again between 1:30 and 4:45. So just the New York sessions. And you can set it to Tokyo and set the time and all that good stuff, or Sydney, or whatever. Apparently you can change the site. Ooh, what does sandwich look like? See what sandwich looks like. Huh. Oh, okay. So up there, there. Okay. I don't know that I saw a difference in the box types, so whatever. Box is fine. Oh, I just see it. Okay, yeah. I like the box. Sandwich is cool too, but whatever. All right, so this way it's 7 a.m. If you look down here, 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. And then again, between 1:30 to 4:45. Just these bigger boxes. Now I want to like start to look in that specific time frame for what I'm looking for, and just go from there. I know that didn't sound super amazing, but don't judge me. All right, so let's do this. So let's take a look at what I was looking at earlier. So I went to the dentist earlier. So when I came back and I finally had time to look, I came in, I was like, oh, cool. So we have like a nice break here, a nice shift, fair value gap, and then high, higher high. We've traded through it. So we have a nice big breaker. Now, whenever the breaker occurs, right, and there's fair value gap here, here, and here, you have to allow for it to come up into the next one. So since all of this is technically the whole breaker, I believe, even though there's a little green candle in here, go figure, I was thinking I would look for something just below here with an let me see, 8 tick stop. And since since we were basically above inside of the fair value gap, and just coming down into this new week opening gap for this week, So I figured we could come down here, easy peasy lemon squeezy. So let's see how long it actually took for that to work out, because that actually played out very nicely, right? So I was using the top of this order block here, and then assuming we could come over here. So I just wanted my honestly mid consummate encroachment of the fair value gap is what is I figured it wouldn't if we're really doing what we're supposed to do, it wouldn't go above that, which it didn't, which is nice. And excuse me. And so from this entry right here until we came all the way down here, that took 47 minutes for, drum roll, 103 ticks. Now, I always have to take a look at what that means in not dollars, but handle wise, right? So 103 divided by 4, 25.75 handles. That's not bad, right? I'm gonna look at. So that would have been a 1287 in dollars hit right there. Nice, not bad. So then as it was coming down, I was like, oh man, we're like midway through here. So I was thinking to myself, it's dropped. We have this other fair value back gap down here, and it hadn't taken the sell side liquidity that this relative equal lows area that I had spec'd out like the day before. And I figured, at minimum, we'll come and take that out. And since we're in a new week opening gap, we'll drop to the base of that. So this one's a little simpler. So quick glance, I was thinking to myself, fair value gap, we have this wick up here. We come up and tapped it a couple times. We were inside of this. Well, let me just note it here. Not to mention there's a volume imbalance in the middle of it too. Hang on. Right? So we're inside of here and if you look at the candles, the bodies are still inside, right? So when it dropped here, I was thinking, okay, so this is a good spot for an entry. So I popped it here. This should also be an 8-tick stop loss. Yes, beautiful. And for it to traverse all the way down to to this fair value gap, that's 58 ticks. And how long did that take? Let's say we got in here approximately 32 minutes for 58 ticks. I mean, not bad, right? And those occurred within, oh man, the glare is killing me, y'all. I don't know what to do with that, but about that at this time of day. It's beautiful out here though. So this entry, and let's back up here. Now this entry would have occurred outside of the normal window, and we would have already kind of been inside of this. So we got a nice entry about 10:30. And I didn't have any time to really pay attention to the afternoon session to see what was going on here. This is all in the 1 minute time frame. So I figured, since we didn't really have a chance to properly try and test it, let's open up our, oops, did I create a new, put that back in here. Let's open up our backtesting window and dang, right there right now. Dang, is that the day right there? Wow, that is. Oh, this is on the week. Man, that's the week. Whatever. It's a day. So no style of inside day. So we're tapping into this bearish order blocks. Anyway, so I'm gonna roll it back. Actually, I'm gonna drop it to like 4 hours, and then we're just gonna roll it back to. Let's see if we can specify trading just between 10 and 11. Let's see if we can find what we're looking for between 10 and 11. So that's Tuesday, 6. Okay. And let's drop down to the 15 minutes. And let's do this. And let's also add our handy dandy indicator just to keep us in line with where we are. Okay. So what's the time on this? 9:45. Perfect. All right. So 9:45 has occurred. We've already had a nice shift here. Technically, given that it's between 7 and 11, I probably could have traded. What's the thing? Probably could have traded the earlier morning stuff, right? Because look at it. We had a nice shift below here. It left us, and drum roll, look at that. Perfect. First of all, we've got liquidity taken here. We can probably even look to the left and we'll probably see some more stuff. Let me dip up to the 15 minutes and we can confirm that. See what we're looking at. So I had denoted, right, fair value gap. Just pull that over. Also, combination liquidity void, tiny fair value gap in there too. So let's pull that over because I do have most of the higher time frame PD arrays noted on my regular thing. Let's see, there we go. So everybody knows that we dug in there. There's actually another one on the top of this. Let's go into the 5 minute. And like I said, I'm going to try to look for something between 10 and 11, but trying to recognize these things on the regular. Why are they always dirty? I mean, folks who have to wear glasses on the regular. I mean, why do they get dirty so easily? It's so annoying. So, I mean, constantly, near constant cleaning of glasses. Like, why? Why? Why is it so annoying? Anyway, sorry, me stay on track here. God, that's worse. Sorry, guys, give me a hot second. But anyway, we can see a nice shift. Actually, the shift happened here, and let's zoom in on this before we actually like do our thing. So this is on the 5 minutes. So the shift happened here. We had a short-term low here. They broke it right there. They left a fair value gap right there. Beautiful. And you could have entered at the order block. And I'd look to the left here, right? So we have this order block at the top here on the 5 minutes. I would have been looking for that, or midpoint of this fair value gap. Let's take a look. Let's scroll that over. Dang. So midpoint of that fair value gap, not a bad spot. Let me, just for funsies, if I'd said that, I wanted an 8. I consistently want an 8 tick stop. Would that have held? Yes, beautifully above this order block over here, and not quite above that one, but that's also another one we could have worked with. So if we'd use this one, boom, even better as a tip of that, and then we would have been over the order block. So that's I think that's a better choice. When the wicks are a little longer, it's probably best to use the wicks as long as they're inside of or close to the fair value gaps. Let's see. It's not that great, but we'll figure it out. Anyway, and then in terms of, so like aiming for this, like we're outside, well, we're outside of this bigger thing. So you can technically drop Fibonacci at the base of this guy, boom. And if you're thinking about targeting, let's say, because we already passed that. So we can look for this. We've got these relative equal lows down here. It could have been targeting just below here. So then that would have been beautiful as a target. And what would that have given us? 72 ticks. I mean, that's not shabby, right? It's not shabby at all. Anyway, so let's Let's drop down to a 1 minute. And what time is it? All right, so it's 10 o'clock, 9:59. All right, now we're gonna look for something. See if we can find it. All right, so we're inside of this bigger fair value gap. Another big shift right here. Volume imbalance. They've just tapped into it. This is actually not a bad place for an entry, personally. Uh, they've tapped into it once, twice. This candle is giving me, wow, it's giving me the feels. But this guy's all the way up here too, so there's a potential for it to pop up. I'm probably being, and of course, in this thing, I have no concept of where the new week opening gaps are, right? So 41, 41.39.50 and 41.27. So let's just note that, just so we have the awareness that we would normally have. So 41.39, 51, and then 41.27. Perfect. So then 41.27. Even. Perfect. All right, so now we have, New York opening gap down here, fair value gap. We're trailing down. We're within the session that we want to trade in. And we've had a nice shift from here. This is at 9:59. I'm gonna let another candle play through because I don't actually know what happens in this case. I'm somewhat wary because I don't, it's coiling back up and we just kind of like pause at the base of this thing or almost the base. And sometimes they like to like roll up. And honestly, I might know that it's there on the other side, but I really, really just don't know. So let's just let this play out. Candle to candle. Okay. So my preference at this point is to find I really like the breakers with a shift and fair value gap or volume imbalance to take the entry, right? So I am looking to see what we get here. So I'm just gonna just wait. Like this is a shift, but it didn't leave me anything. Well, it left this giant thing right here. Um, we've been tapping downward this whole time, so I don't know if I feel comfortable with anything and if with taking anything, and especially if we look at the range. Excuse me. Use the base. So in the range right now, for this bigger, higher time frame range, we've just come back into premium. So let's see. So I was gonna note in my head that 41.60 is like equilibrium, and then like midway equilibrium for its own like premium, would be somewhere around 41.54.25. So anything above that would be good. Let's see. We can take this off. If I can brighten the screen, it's so bright. My eyes are like not happy. What if it looked better if I didn't bother to use the bigger screen? Whatever. All right, so we're zoomed in on this time. They've taken this out. I'm not super convinced. I don't know. Relatively equal highs up here. So there's buy side up here. So let's just note that. So there's buy side here. If they're going to reach up. If they don't, and we should add these guys as our guiding lights, trying to stay on top of the SMT divergences. So let's add these in. And ooh, look at that gap. All right, so first things first, let's take a look at what's happening between the two. So wow, look at the Dow. It's not even like, wow. Look at the top of that thing. This thing isn't even 10 week 10, it's not anywhere close to it. So we have this guy pointing like it's going to go down. That's taken out, big gap. They're going to want to take that back. And then, so I feel like the short's probably still a good plan. And, been going down anyway. So just let it play. Let's see, what time is it? 10:06. Okay. And so right now I'm watching to see how they're hanging out in with this fair value gap right here. And let me just note it with like just a small little, let's make it like bright. Just watch how the bodies behave. Because we're currently just hanging out inside of this bigger one, but I'm just curious to see. Because then this could be a stop run, right? They took out these guys. And there is a small, yeah, there's a fair value gap up here. I don't know. This is choppy. So I'm gonna plot back up to the 5 minute. Oof. Was there news at this time? 10. Let's go see. Because things to pay attention to, right? So it's Tuesday. So at 10 a.m. Jolt's job openings. Right. So good. So that's why that happened. And I'm just gonna wait just gonna let price hang out for a bit. Wait till about 10:30, 20, 30 minutes after, and see how it behaves. Because right here, it's respecting this thing. So honestly, it would just make me want to take a short. I would probably just try a little and this is not the model, but I've been noticing this sort of thing. And see how it's behaving right there. If you could take I would take like a quick tiny, I would think about it and see if I can get 20 ticks, back down. I can't, that's not the model. That's just me testing that because it can always come and wipe you out. Like it does right there. Look, boom, I would have been out like a light. So that's why it's best to follow the model and not just go nuts. So that invalidates, oops, what did I do? Josie. So this invalidates that. So I'm going to get rid of that. But we're still body-wise respecting this bigger fair value gap. So let's go around. Okay, it's all very just coiling up. It's all very annoying. So here we have like a short-term low being violated, but still pretty choppy, so I don't know how I feel about it. That feels like a better swing for me. They took out this guy. We have this fair value gap. Now I see. Um, so for if I were to trust this lower high with this guy, then we have this fair value gap right here. We do have a higher high, and it's been traded through. This has been, right? So then the order block that I could potentially play with, and my preference would be if it knocked this whole thing out. But it did give us a shift. It's looking good. This whole breaker block. Let's see if that one will work for us. And let's do a quick 8 tick. So I don't feel comfortable with that. 8 ticks, and we have a tiny, tiny thing. And this right here, uh, it's still too choppy. I probably wouldn't want to take that. Let's see if something. Uh, this is the part that I really need to get used to, right? We have a shift, right? And higher high. I don't know. Okay, so that's more decisive for me. Yeah, it's more decisive. So given that breaker, um, bearish breaker right here. Mm, uh, yeah, bearish breaker. So then fair value gap here, tiny one up here. I want to see if this one remain open, I think, because we have this order block here, and we do have this guy as well. Let's see. Because as this like creates itself, shift, high, higher, high, trade it through, break right here. Okay. And let's take a look at, or be looking at these guys. It's this one. Ooh. So in this scenario, we could do the Six Sister scenario. So if a green candle shows up in here, because it hasn't taken this low out, I just learned that from ICT. So like the next green candle, it should just continue on down, or like from right here or something. Because shift, order block. Gotta see how the next candle fares. Because this is broken, this is not broken. It's definitely going down. So you could do the Six Sister thing on this. Nice. Very cool. Very cool. Oops. Let's drop that down. Okay, beautiful. So that looks a lot more promising, the way it was forming. Like I didn't like when it just stopped here, but if it had come back up into this, I probably would have taken it. So now my thoughts are, we've broken high, higher, higher, we've broken through. Now we have, this technically should be a bearish order block. So the very base of that is this long wick down here. So let's see if we get an entry from right there. And let's go for our 8 tick. And we already know we have all of this juiciness down here. Not even going to bother with the fib, but we could also drop the fib on like that high and that low just to kind of get an estimate. And this says it could go down to that much. I would personally so I would go a little below it and see how that fares. Drop another fib when we get a proper low formed here, and then do a comparison. So right now we have not really this one and this one. So I'm assuming it's going to trade up into here, midpoint. The top of this order block right here is here. The base of this one is probably too high for that. So let's use the top of this order block right here instead. And let's note, because I'm thinking of this as like breakaway gaps. I already want them to come back into that. I want them to stay down here. But given that it is, I'm probably doing this wrong in terms of which color candles for the order blocks. I still need to work on that. Anyway, so if I'm going to be honest, let's assume it's going to come up to at least tap this, maybe midpoint. So let me give myself a 10, just the top of the green candle, top of that order block right there. Let's see, right there. So I wanted to come up there and then drop. Let's see. And I'm looking for all of that. Okay, I'm going to hit the buy the sell button. And now that we have a base, we can also drop the fib to get an estimate as well. Okay. Okay, pretty close. Let's use this one. What's that going to get us? 113? I don't know. Let's see if we get that. There's no guarantees. My preference is to just take it when it comes at 41.27 because we already know it's going to go there, because once they are heading towards it, they're going to use up the whole thing. It's just what I've noticed. Okay. Be patient. So this is happening. So 10:30. All right. See if we get to that entry. Okay. So I'm gonna sell here. Make sure I hit the right button. Sell here, and the stop loss is gonna be above this order block, above this fair value gap. So that's gonna be 15 ticks. I wanted 8, but I'm realizing I'm being a bit insane with that. So let's play this out. So not bad already. And then I'm gonna drop my stop loss so I can just notate how I'd be moving this. And if I'm thinking about like premium, right? So we waited for it to get back up to, it looks like it came back up to equilibrium to drop. Not bad. Okay, got that. So when we hit about halfway, I'll start to move my stop. I expect it to stay um, inside of this fair value gap. We have tiny one up here, but I don't really want them to come back up there. I want this to act as resistance. Let's like visualize that. And I wish I could actually like do this from like, live. So next week I'm off, so I'm gonna spend a lot of time doing that. So whenever it stalls in a specific location, it always makes me wonder what it is, what it's doing. So it should continue down, I think. Looks like we're consolidating. This green candle appears to be holding. Let's zoom in even more on this activity here. So we're consolidating, probably gathering more orders. We have another shift here as well. Um, so just bearish order blocks right here, gathering more orders, it feels like. Okay. So I feel like there's something down there that they're stuck inside of. I need to back up and see. Ah, there it is. There you are. So it's got a bit of a fair value gap that it's reacting off of. Okay, giving folks another opportunity. Now, if it crossed this and took out this guy and closed a candle above it, then I would just close it because then I'm wrong. This is very heartening. It came in, it tapped it, it dropped. Now I needed to take this out with some gusto. This candle's consequent encroachment, I needed to take it out with some love, with some fire. Okay, so what time is this? All right, so we're coming down. Awesome. And let's see, where are we in the grand scheme of things? We get about halfway. I'll bring, actually, it's not a bad plan. We can bring everything into stop loss here above this. Let's see. Now I need this to turn into resistance. Let's see. But we're entering the new week opening gap, so I'm feeling pretty good that it's going to continue into this thing. It might pause at the midpoint, approximately around there, approximately. Yep. Okay. Good, good. I think the top of this could potentially behave as resistance as well. Look at the bodies. I mean, this is fascinating. Look at the bodies. Look at how they're respecting it. Isn't that crazy? I don't like to be zoomed in this close, but like if honestly, if it was me, I'd probably take a short from here because of this behavior right here, all the way to down here. Could probably get 20 ticks out of that. Let's see. Well, more actually. So if I'm wrong, that 8 ticks would probably come in handy. Let's see. So look at that. 20 ticks, 1, 2, 3 candles, done and dusted. 250 right there. Oh wow. I wish this thing would show the tick levels. So now that it's moved that much, I'm gonna lock in more of my, stuff here above that. And we've just hit equilibrium, so it likes to play around in there. Okay. See how it behaves around it. It should be acting as support once it turns over. And we've got a volume imbalance right here, so I don't want it to go past that. Not bad. Okay. So I'm gonna close it when it hits this. And flatten right there. And that would be enough for me. Like, oh my God, look at that. That would be a perfectly beautiful trade, right, for the morning. And it fits perfectly in with, oh yeah, this is what I had, yeah. So it fits perfectly in with what I'd outlined in the morning. And we had that secondary opportunity here, which could have netted us once you saw that behavior, come all the way down to that guy. Still 50 tick because it's a wide new week opening gap, so that's not bad at all. Okay, so let's fast forward to the afternoon and see what we could do in the next session. So let's drop that. We could have gotten what we wanted, obviously. So, oh, it just kept going, didn't it? What time is it? 12. Nicely dropped. Yeah, the sell side, it took that out. So now I'm gonna wait until we get to the next session. Once that, perfect. So let's get on to the 5 minutes. And the new session that I'm interested in trading has just commenced. Okay, so what do we have? So we've dropped precipitously, then we're inside the new week opening gap, and this is the low that formed before 12:30. So I want to see if they choose to take this out or if they start to like continue to head up, then, I'm gonna take my bias based off of that. So let's see. So we're 5 minutes. So it is 1:55. Let's drop down to 1 minute and watch this puppy. Dang it. All right, so we just so on the 1 minute, had a major shift here. We took out buy side here, right there. And we've dropped and made a shift here as well. Let's see. So we have a high, higher high, drop down. Um, I think the low, no, that's not right. Yeah, so this guy would be the breaker right there. Uh, so I would need to see it take out probably this low and this low. So let's see. But it has come back up into the breaker. Fair value gap right there. You see it. And we're at the base of this thing. So we've already started the uptrend during lunch. My preference would have been to, after this shift, we have this, then once this got broken, enter on an order block. Enter on this order block. Where a fair value gap actually lives. So we have this other break here. Um, oh my God, guys, my going long entry is pretty craptastic. So look at this. We have a clear shift right here, fair value gap right here. We've just come back down into it. It looks like we're at a point where they're giving us a second chance at it. This is a higher low. And the breaker, let's see, we have am I doing this right? For the breaker, no breaker. more of a mitigation block, I think, right here, right here. So this guy, so this would be a good place for me to go long if I'm really believing. And we're at the base of this thing. So let's see. Now I've made 1350 in the morning. Is this enough for me to feel like I should try? So let's do this. Like if we set an order like right here about consequent encroachment of this wick, see if they come back down to it. If they don't, all good. Let's do 8 ticks there. And I mean, I don't know where they're trying to go. So let's assume we have buy side here. And I'm going to use this base and that top right there approximately. That's pretty close. So let's assume they'll bust through this guy. 45 ticks in the afternoon. Let's see if we can get it, risking $100 of what I already have. Okay, let's see if they come back down. Inside this guy too. And they're respecting this fair value gap as well. So let me just note that. Yeah. Okay. And if I've missed it, I've missed it, right? So that's wicking. Right. So the actual order block was the open of this is 41.2950, and the low of this candle 41.2950. Hold on. So the open for, yeah. So literally exactly to the tick right there. And I should have not bothered with this, but let's see. Because I'm still thinking maybe, but based on how it's behaving, probably not. I don't know. It's using this as support right now. So, oh, so I would have gotten my original desire for an entry, which was, well, I'm looking at the consequent encroachment of that wick, maybe not entirely, not exactly consequent encroachment, but enough to get me below that. So let's zoom in so I can be very, very precise. Oops. So see. Okay, so, oh man, terrible time to be doing this with the sun just like, can I move it up so I can see? Okay. So consequent encroachment of that wick. I was looking for that entry right there. It's about there. So if I'm being, so I was looking for that. What did I just move? Good. I was looking for that entry. If I missed it, I missed it. You know, it's not a big deal. Yeah. Now, oops. So this is another lesson for me, right? Because, sorry, I'm moving around because there's a giant glare on my monitor and I can't see. So I'm gonna let me do this and lean in a little bit. Let me take the glasses off for a moment. Okay, so constant encroachment's there. I probably should have gone for like a couple of ticks above it. So that's that. And 41.29, 41.29 a quarter would have been one tick above it, and then that would have been good. And then my original somewhere up here. So let's do this and let's again confirm right here. So maybe I like a tick or so below that. It's not bad. That one was probably not out of the realm of possibility, but let's assume this guy. And this is still consolidating, so see if my long idea is right. Need to work on that entry. So I'm taking this out. Coming up on it. Okay. This guy is acting as support after this break, so technically I can enter in anywhere. In here, as long as I'm below, my stop loss is below this fair value gap. Because if a candle closes below here, then I'm wrong anyway, right? So, and this is looking very promising. So if I know, probably get another green candle. Probably not. It's probably gonna pop right up. Oh, okay. Red candle. Let's buy. Let's buy right there and see what happens. Okay, so we're down, can't see, $25. If we hit $100, then I'm wrong, right? But again, we have to see if the candle closes. And I don't know what happened in the afternoon, so I'm blind doing this. Can't tell. Stop loss is all the way below here, so my entry is a little high. Okay. Sorry, I'm over here just trying to like see through this. I can't see the numbers because I would have like closed that at 100. Now, look, the bodies have closed below this, so I would just flatten and take my loss and just be like, you know what, I'm good. I'm good for the afternoon. I'm just gonna watch it. It's 2:21. Let's look for something a little bit more clear, right? Like I said, I wanted to see if it was gonna take out the lows formed, you know, well, 12:30. Like if it doesn't take this out, then I'm probably right and we're going up. And it's just inside of this order block right here. There is, oh goodness, need to be able to spot everything. There is a volume imbalance right here. That's where they're stopped right now. If this behaves as support, I'm gonna go back in long. Let's see. And I'm going to, oof, it's wicking. Yeah. Yeah. And press the button on that. So I'm wrong. So let's do this. So I'm wrong. You know what? Let me see if I can move this into this window. So much better. Oh, goodness, I can see again. Guys, that's rough. Don't trade when you can't see. 223. All right, let's see if it takes this out. So let's denote our sell stops below here. The gunning for it. And we're in this, is there another new week opening gap? Actually, these equal lows might be a little bit more juicy. Let's see. So we just had a nice shift, another one. So I might be looking for a short instead from, say, this volume imbalance, if it gives me the opportunity. Now I want to see this act as resistance, really. If it pops back into it, I don't know that I trust it. Continuation. And, we haven't checked our, hold on, we haven't checked our, oops, where'd they go? All the way down here. Let's set this to, let's see what this is looking like. What are you telling me? What's the story you're telling me? And then let's look at the NASDAQ as well. Let's see what story you're telling me as well. Okay, so for the NASDAQ, we've taken out these lows. For the Dow, we've taken out the lows, and we've taken out the lows. So everybody's in consort. So looks like we're coming for these lows. All right. So what time is it? 4:26. All right. So what do we have up here? So this order block, I do believe, and let's go check our new week opening gaps. And there's one at 41.22 and 41.1875. So let's add that in here. 41.22 blue and 41.18.5. Whoops, done. All right. So we have another new week opening gap that is reaching for down here. Let's take that auto off. You're driving me nuts. So I was wrong on the long. It's at the base of this guy. We're obviously going to come down here. The question is, can I get on a short, can I get 20 ticks in the middle of all of this? Just specify 8 up there. Can I get 20 ticks? Yeah, I can. All right, so let's see if this turns into support. I'm gonna note this fair value gap. That's acted quite well in the past. See if we can turn. It was very bullish when I hit it last time. Let's see if it behaves the same way. This acts as support. Well, inside of this, there's in 5 handles of activity, so not super excited about doing anything. I'll probably just take my morning wins and go on about my business. Woohoo! Yeah. So I pressed the button because I don't know, but I expected it. Now, look, came back up to this volume imbalance, which is where I originally wanted to take the short from. Righteous. So they went back up to this guy. So if this acts as resistance, we might be able to get a quick 5 handle run. I don't know. Let's see. It's looking promising from here. Yeah, I'm not gonna hit the button, but I just want to test it out. See how they behave around the old lows. Huh. So what have we done so far? It's 2:43. We're about to come up on the 3 o'clock time frame. They've taken out this low from before 12:30. The lowest low before 12:30 is like here. They haven't taken that out. So I don't know. Maybe my bullish thoughts are still correct. We don't have a shift. Oh, sorry. I was saying if it stayed here, could we get 20 ticks? I just want to see 20 ticks. Given that it seems to be hanging out there, losing steam, my long game is terrible, y'all. I need to work so hard on it. Allergies, man, they're kicking in. What time is it? So it's 3. Okay. So what do we have below here? So let's assume we've got sell stops below here. We just had a nice shift right there. Do have a higher high. That would give me I might be stretching it that a little bit there. Might be stretching it, but we could have gotten 5 ticks, five handles right there. So it's a good potential. I'm gonna just draw that out, and we'll ignore this and this and clean that up. Oops, Josie. And clean. Let's delete that. Okay, and delete that. Okay, so from the afternoon, been falling. We've come back into sell side right here. So we've taken out a couple of lows from before lunch. I should probably take a look at what the 5 minute looks like on this, right? The main low is down here, so I figure that's what they're aiming for from a consistent downward trend. So let me adjust my brain hole. All right. So we had a shift up here, and higher high, traded through. It's kind of far away. I don't know what's the rule, because then this would be like actually the lowest one would be the one I traded through. No. So let's assume we're working through here. I come back in, coming back up. Volume imbalance right here, fair value gap. I personally feel like they're going to come back up into this bit. Let's see how they treat this guy going down. Taking that sell side. Let me make this a different color because I'm confusing them. Let's make it like light shade. So the same shade. Dang. Okay, there you go. And let's look at it. So I've taken that out. Nice shift here. It came back into this. There's a bearish order block down here. They use the second one. Volume imbalance. It's like there's still nothing I can use. Looks like the volume imbalance is acting as support here. Let's see, we can delete this. Well, sideways, we haven't a shift here, but if they take this out, well, that invalidates it. Equal highs. Okay. What time is it? 3:07. Gonna give me something to work with. This looks like we should go long, given the nature of it. Let's see if that's the case, then be looking for these equal areas here from a buy side perspective. Oops. These equal highs. But we don't have any actual shifts to confirm that, so I'm just gonna wait. This is how I get chopped up otherwise. See? See? That's why I'm like just gonna wait. That was an idea. So I don't actually have a shift except for this one. But I don't trust it. It's just going sideways now. I need something definitive. So I'm finding that in order to be proper, for it to work for me, it has to be like you see how this breaks through with multiple candles, leaving a SIBI, sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency, to come back up into along with the breaker. Beautiful. What we have down here, we had something similar, but no breaker. We had a shift here. Um, high, higher, high. High. Yeah, we had a similar scenario here, somewhat, but it's not perfect. So just gotta wait. Now we've taken this sell side out. We've formed ourselves a thing at the top of this. We still haven't come through the whole of this. Let's see. It's nothing definitive. I might not have had anything to trade on this guy. The morning was nice. Okay. So we have this taken out very shallowly. So I'm not. Okay. Still. No, it needs to be clear. It's all sideways BS right now. So it should be that I should be thinking to go short because they've just come up into this order block right here after this shift. Beautiful. See if that would give us a right there. Wait for it to go there. See if that would give us 20 ticks with an 8. Probably a little bit more from 20 since we're looking for them to take all of this, if I'm being honest with you. And if we were to take this high and that low, with sell side taken here, just below it is, they're suggesting maybe even all the way down here. But I'm not going to be greedy. It's the afternoon. Already lost that. Should have taken this here. So let's see if we get that. Just enter. This should act as support or resistance, I should say. Yep. Continuing on down. Good. Kitty's eating. Candles are still inside of it, acting as resistance. Coming down. Good. So I should have been looking at this break right here. So let's like note that. So it's a bigger significant break right here. For my notes, my journal, right? And so bearish order blocks right here. So the base of that. Finding I don't like just order blocks with breaks, fair value gap. I mean, that should be enough, right? Nothing above it, nothing for them to come back up into. That should be enough. Should be enough. And then that would have been a nice 37 ticks. And then just stop for the rest of the day. You know, don't even worry about it. But anyway, I'm going to stop there. So bright. I'm going to go take a walk because it's so nice outside. I can't even begin to tell you. And then I'll post this. Definitely like this market session thing. It keeps me focused on when I should be. So I can just come back and just look at that section versus anything else. I'm going to continue to look for. So in the afternoon here, it looks like maybe I should just focus primarily on like 3 to 4 to find something. So I'm gonna adjust this to do that, and we'll fight with that. So somewhere between 3 and 4, I'm gonna find something. Boom. If that's the case. Huh? Did I mess with that? So show. Bar. That should have given me. This is 3:37. I need to work out this GMT time properly. Oh, hold on. Time zone general. It's New York. It's so weird. Why is it doing that? Let's cancel that and set it back to the default for now. And then I'll figure that out. No. So I had it set to 1, like 1:30, 1:45. Bigger window. And that's actually right. Oh, it's weird that it did that. Anyway, so happy hunting. Behave yourselves. Kira, out. Oh, let me get big. Let me get big again. Shakira out.